And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Friday, November 19th. I am Josh Engelman, and I am here to break down today's 9-game NBA slate. Before we do anything at all, please hit that like button. You know how much that helps me out. Subscribe to this channel. We have a ton of content coming out. You don't want to miss it. That's why you would hit that notification bell. Also, shout out to Prize Picks for being the presenting sponsor. We'll talk about them in a bit. I love seeing all the coffee cups in chat. Good morning, everybody. It's going to be a good one. 9-gamer, pretty fun. Yesterday was kind of wild pre-lock. We ended up just having like a normal old NBA slate where we were getting a lot of really late news. Ended up getting all the way to 24th in the big FanDuel contest, which doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but I did have a live bullet, 5 in the top 100, or 5 in the top 1%. I'm pretty happy with the way yesterday's slate shook out. I can't really complain today. We've got to move pretty quickly, so my random intros are going to be relatively quick for right now because 7:30 drop dead time. Got to go to the gym. So let's get this done. It's good to see everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get into it now. Coffee is here. I know normally I should wait a couple of minutes, let everybody come in, but time is of the essence today. So I've got my coffee. I hope you do as well. It's rise and grind time, baby. Cheers. Grab whatever you got to drink. If you don't have anything to drink, cheers anyway. Empty hands will work. Good luck today, everybody. Let's win some money. It's going to be a long one. I'm on live before lock tonight as well. We're here all day. It's going to be a biggie. Cheers. Yeah, I love it. It tastes great. Don't need it as much this morning. I got to bed at a reasonable hour last night. Finally actually got some sleep this week for the first time this week. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's attack Friday. All right, let's switch this up. Bang. Let's turn that on. Put some tunage on in the back. Prize Picks, what up? They are the presenting sponsor of this video. Everyone that's listening to this should go check out this offer. Use the promo code Awesemo, get up to $100 on your first deposit. So if you put in $100, they will match that with $100. Free money's the best. We have player prop tools on the website from OddsShopper or just on the regular page itself that will help you out at Prize Picks. They're all laid out there for you. You can compare and contrast against everything. It's all available for you at Awesemo.com. But you should definitely go check out Prize Picks. Bot Nuts, good morning. Alrighty, we got 9 games, and we need to move through them pretty quickly. So, let's do it. I have to refresh my model because I exported that stuff while the intro music was playing. So there's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Jokic averaging 1.72 fantasy points per minute so far this season. Also, Gary Trent, I hate you. Alrighty, we're kicking it off with the Indiana Pacers. They are taking on the Charlotte Hornets, 216 total. It's fitting that we start with the Pacers since they play every day. Let's make that slightly smaller. And refresh. All right, now we can actually dive in. Do I need that tab open? I guess I don't. Okay. Pacers. What do we know? Q tag on Chris Duarte. Everything else is fine. I thought Duarte was going to play the last game and then didn't, so I'm certainly going to put him in for today. And then on the Charlotte side, still no PJ Washington. Otherwise, we know what's going on. So that should be pretty easy. Let's project out this rotation. Let's get Chris Duarte back in it. And if Chris Duarte plays, we could take Jeremy Lamb's minutes. Let's take Keelan Martin's minutes. We'll take Justin Holiday's minutes. Torrey Craig's minutes. That should leave me 30. Let's do 30 for Karis LeVert. That's not the right way to type that number. Do 30 for Karis LeVert. We'll get Chris Duarte in for 30, I guess. We need Keelan Martin and Justin Holiday to get some time. So we'll get Justin Holiday his 24 or so. Keelan Martin gets, I don't know, 16. Now that lets me run out of minutes, which I don't think is going to be the case. Do they go back to no Goga? They might. Let's take that down to 4 minutes for Goga. It's a tough rotation for Indiana. Morning, Ramsey, Izzy, Sean, JJ. Good morning. I hope I'm not missing anybody there. Well, I think this is actually probably pretty good. Because we're not going to be playing Keelan Martin if Chris Duarte is back. So I think we're all right. That should work for Indiana. And I don't really need to change any rates. So let's go check out Charlotte. Ooh, I got to set an alarm so that at 7:20 I chug my pre-workout. 7:15 it is. All right, on the Charlotte side, this is just going to be pretty simple, I think. I can't imagine we're making many changes here. This is the same sort of team every time. Mason Plumlee in for 27 minutes sounds good. Jalen McDaniels, I have in for the backup run. Looks like Nick Richards got right back into the rotation. So we're going to take the 5 minutes that I had fake jammed into Nick Richards. Take McDaniels down to 18. That'll give Richards 8 at the very least. Those 5 go there. And that is good enough as far as I'm concerned for Charlotte. So let's look at these two teams. Indiana, again, 2-point dogs. I like Karis LeVert, 6,600. Let me walk one thing back for Karis LeVert, just to soften the edges, because I had a lot last time. Get down to 30. There we go. So we've got Karis LeVert, 6,600 on FanDuel, 6,700 on DraftKings. Miles Turner for 6,400 on DraftKings. Not that I hate him on FanDuel for 7,400, but 6,400 works a lot better on DK. I think Brogdon looks pretty solid for 8,300 as well. On the Charlotte side, LaMelo is 8,800 on FanDuel and 10,400 on DraftKings. That does not make a ton of sense. So I like Melo a lot on FanDuel. I like Terry Rozier a bit on FanDuel. I like Mason Plumlee a little bit on DraftKings. I like Miles Bridges a lot on DraftKings at 7,900. There's just a lot to like here. I got the running tables going for us, so we'll keep an eye on the top of the table. But for now, we're one game in. Mongo, no, not at all. I was just sort of kidding. All right, we're on to the Golden State Warriors on a back-to-back. But if you're going to do that, playing Cleveland with nobody and playing the Detroit Pistons with their actual team, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. Jim, I think it's called, like JYM, something like that. What were we doing here? Oh yeah, Golden State, 8-point favorites. Do we know anything from last night? I mean, Curry with the Q tag's not going to be real. Does Otto Porter sit on the back-to-back? I assume we get Iggy back. Has Otto Porter sat on back-to-backs? He did sit this Sunday, Monday back-to-back. That's their only back-to-back so far? Yeah, okay. Well, let's assume that Otto Porter sits and Iggy just moves right into those Otto Porter minutes. Seems pretty reasonable. The cum bucket played significantly less than we were expecting because obviously Juan Toscano Anderson was going to get those minutes. I don't think it's going to matter on this slate. We got Draymond Green getting 32 minutes. We've got Jordan Poole getting 31 minutes. Steph at 35. Andrew Wiggins at 31. Everything else is going to be the same here. We know what we're doing. I don't trust this team at all. So we're going to move on from Golden State. Yeah, Cantor, that Steph Q tag isn't totally real. I mean, it is, but it isn't. They played yesterday, so they don't have any actual designations for today. So that's just hypothetical based on yesterday. I don't know how to say your name, but Kaoso. Glad you liked the Theory of DFS show. I had a great time talking to Jordan. And we went 3 hours, so if you guys want to watch it, that link is around here somewhere. On to the Pistons side of this Golden State game. Sean, again, also, thank you. I assume I'll do that again in the future. Are we really going to be making any Pistons changes here? I mean, I guess we are, but I don't know what those changes are going to be. They ran a 9-man rotation with Josh Jackson out of the rotation last time. Is that a permanent decision? Might be true, Cantor. Might be true. Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Warriors, I would want to sit Curry, but like, there's nothing. It's an early game. We can't like hypothesize that Curry is sitting right now. Not for this show. Why did Josh Jackson get a DNP? And should I expect him to get one today? Feels like the answer is yes. All right, Luke Garza also didn't play. So let's think about this for a little bit. Now, do I expect Corey Joseph to be playing 30 minutes a game? No, absolutely not. So I'm going to go to 28 there. I think keeping Corey Joseph at like 18 makes some sense. We're going to get Cade. I mean, Cade's just playing 34 minutes a game. That's just happening. Actually, let's do this. 214. That makes more sense. Cade. Like, Frank Jackson playing 26 doesn't... like, that makes some sense to me. I'm going to take him all the way up to 20. Isaiah Stewart at 28 minutes. That seems right. Trey Lyles, most of that backup run. That seems right. We're going to do Jeremy Grant for 34 minutes. All of that seems right. Sadiq Bey, 33 minutes, I guess. 12, so 15. So that leaves 29 minutes for Hamidou Diallo and whatever Josh Jackson is going to be. I'm pretty sure that I read that they're going to start trying to get Hamidou Diallo more minutes. So I'm going to put him in for that same 14 that he had. That leaves me 15. Josh Jackson seems like the most likely scenario over Luke Garza. I don't know which one it's going to be. And the good news is it doesn't matter. What does matter is that we're going to be getting to Isaiah Stewart and a bunch of other pieces here. For Golden State, Curry 10-8 on FanDuel, 11-5 on DraftKings. I mean, this is basically the same as it always is for me. Very little interest in the Golden State Warriors. And really only concentrated in the Curry, Green, Wiggins, Poole group. So I don't have anything I really want to add for Golden State. I know that Steph is not going to grade out as well as other pay-up options. On the Pistons side, Cade Cunningham, 6,500 and 6,400 across both sites, should be very popular. I think he looks fantastic. Isaiah Stewart is 5K on FanDuel, power forward eligibility, massive. 5K on DraftKings, just center, significantly less massive, but still a good play. I think Sadiq Bey for 6,100 across both looks solid. Jeremy Grant is always viable. A lot of these guys on DraftKings are priced pretty well on Detroit. Like Frank Jackson at the $3,100 number is, you know, if he falls into some time, he can get you to 30 and change. What the hell's my wife doing? All right, what are we going to do? Oh, summary tables, yes. Let's add in Golden State, and we'll add in... By the way, FanDuel on the left, DraftKings on the right, but you can see that distinction for the salaries. Yeah, Cade right now, top of the heap on DraftKings. LaMelo, top of the heap on FanDuel. We continue on. The Los Angeles Lakers at the Boston Celtics. And we don't yet know the status of LeBron James. Questionable. Same guys that are normally out are out. On the Boston side, Q-tag on Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. So that's nice and fun to have no idea who's actually playing. Let's look at the injury report because I do want to see... I assume that this is all on there and correct. Jaylen Brown questionable, Robert Williams questionable, LeBron James questionable. I assume I'm just going to project all these guys in. I don't totally trust it. We're going to start on the Lakers side. But let's just assume LeBron plays. So I'm going to cut this entire rotation. I don't think we're going to be seeing DeAndre Jordan anymore. So a 14-minute rotation from Dwight. No, a 12-minute rotation from Dwight is going to lead to Anthony Davis playing all of his minutes at the 5. Okay. We'll see. Carmelo Anthony, 26 minutes. Leaves me 22 for LeBron. We'll get him up to, let's say 32 minutes for LeBron. We're going to go 35 minutes for Russ with a Rondo backup. It appears Talen Horton-Tucker is just going to be playing aggressive minutes now. And I don't think that has to do with just LeBron being out. So I'm going to give him 34. I think that's like an on-purpose decision. Wayne Ellington is going to be a big part of this team moving forward. Let's see. Avery Bradley is certainly going to maintain a part of this rotation. So 12 minutes for whoever I think is the last guy, which would be Monk in this case. Where am I off? Avery Bradley played less than Monk the past 2 games. So let's bring Avery Bradley back down to 16. And then we'll bring Monk up to 16. None of that matters. I mean, the only people that are really going to be playable here are AD, in theory, LeBron, but not today, Russ, and Talen Horton-Tucker. So that feels about right. You're never going to want their bench guys. So let's update these rates, because that's the only thing we really have to change up here. Because I don't get the sense that Talen Horton-Tucker is going to take the same amount of shots he was with LeBron James not around. So we bring AD's usage rate back down. Melo can just go away with it. Russ back down. To 9.5, I guess there. Talen Horton-Tucker has a usage rate of 26%. That is not going to continue. I can promise you that. LeBron going to go back up to 29.5. That really, it just, if AD, LeBron, and Russ are playing, it's so difficult to give anybody else any other usage. Like, if I even try to keep Carmelo and Talen Horton-Tucker near their normal rates, no one else is going to shoot. Let's look back to last year and just say, what was Talen Horton-Tucker's usage rate when LeBron was on? Just LeBron. With LeBron on the floor since the beginning of last year, 404 minutes, Talen Horton-Tucker had a 17% usage rate. Let's say that it's going to be a little bit better than that and we go 18.5. Best we can do as far as I'm concerned. Still going to look like a decent play, but that's the Lakers. We'll switch to Boston, and now we got to do just as much work because we need to put Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams back in. That's not fun. So let's cut everything out of here. And we'll start at center. So assuming everything is business as usual, Robert Williams is going to go straight into like 28 minutes. We'll give Horford the other 20 and another 8. So 28 apiece for both of those guys. Actually, let's make that 29 and 19. I want both guys playing 29 minutes. Done. Point guard spot, we're going to go to Dennis Schroeder, 30 minutes. Backup point guard run, doesn't really matter to me who ends up getting this. Let's just go straight to Marcus Smart. And then 14, so 32 to Smart. We get Tatum to his 36 mark for sure. Jaylen Brown, first game back, he's missed 6. I think 30 minutes for Jaylen Brown makes some sense. So now we've got 54 minutes left for Grant Williams. So let's put him in now. Probably something like 12. Jay Rich is going to come down in minutes. So something like 18. And then I've got Romeo Langford and Aaron Nesmith to split these final 12. Bang. Are they running that big of a rotation? No. No, somebody's leaving this rotation. Looks like Aaron Nesmith was not really in that rotation prior to Jaylen Brown going down. So let's make that a little bit bigger for Romeo Langford. And honestly, maybe a little bit bigger for Jay Rich, even though it won't matter. Rates are all going to need to change now that Jaylen Brown is back. So let's go to Boston. Jerry Sink full of dishes. What up? Does their defense improve with LeBron? Can't get any worse. But yes, it does. Not like it should be changing any decisions you make, but yes, it makes it a better. They are better because of it. All right, we'll get Jason Tatum in with his normal rates. We'll get Jaylen Brown in with his normal rates. Robert Williams is good. Definitely need to cut his rebounding rate. Al Horford is fine there. Bump his rebounding rate. Schroeder. I'll at least leave that up there. Marcus Smart, not playing very well this year. All right, I think we're good on Boston. So this was a trickier game for us. We've got to try to move a little bit faster. I'm only through 3 games. I only have a half hour left for the final 6. Hit that thumbs up, by the way. 110 viewers, 60 likes. We're looking to get to 100 likes by the time we get to 7 a.m. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but we will be able to push forward a little bit faster. On the Lakers, I like AD for 10,300 or 10,700. He's been a 1.39 fantasy point per minute guy so far this year. I'll happily take that steadiness. And then we're really not doing anything else. I mean, Talen Horton-Tucker, 6K on FanDuel, 5,800 on DraftKings. That's a good price. You're going to get to him, but it's nothing crazy. I doubt that I'm getting much LeBron or Russ. I'm definitely not getting LeBron. I doubt I'm getting much Russ. On the Boston side, Jason Tatum is 9,300 on FanDuel. I like that price tag. Robert Williams is pretty solid for 6,200 on DK. I probably have him over projected like I normally do. I don't really know how else to bring that down. What's his offensive rebounding rate? Okay, so that holds. Cut his assist rate a little. Best you can hope for. Yeah, so it's just Jason Tatum and Robert Williams here. I'm going to pick up the pace now, guys. 6 games to go, half hour to do so. Orlando and Brooklyn. Orlando 12.5-point dogs in Brooklyn. As best I can remember, we don't have any Orlando issues. I don't think anybody went down in their last game. Yeah, it's just a Q tag on Suggs, so that doesn't matter. And then on the Brooklyn side, still no Joe Harris, but same rotations as before. Claxton's still out. So I don't really think we're going to be changing much here. This is pretty much a standard issue rotation for Orlando. Terrence Ross has been playing a little bit more as of late. That's something to pay attention to. Maybe we do like 27 minutes for Ross. That gets him to be playable. Wendell Carter Jr. in for 31. Maybe that should be 30. 29 for Bamba seems right, though. 20 for Chuma Okeke seems fine. Franz Wagner at 32 is fine. Cole Anthony at 34. Let's go to 35 on Cole Anthony. I think we're good there. On the Brooklyn side, who the hell knows to start, but at least it's going to be the same people that have been playing, or at least that would be my expectation. So let's take those minutes, go right here. 22 for Aldridge. He played 30 on Wednesday. Didn't think that that was possible. We're going to have to think about that a little bit. Javon Carter's minutes can come down so that I can get LaMarcus Aldridge to 24. Patty Mills for 34 is right. 36 for Harden. 36 for Durant. Maybe 29 for Bruce Brown. Bembry at 24 feels about as good as it's going to get. I don't trust this team at all, so I don't really know who to give most of these minutes to. Maybe we get James Johnson up to 19. I think we're all right with Brooklyn. Rates are going to stay the same. So on the Orlando side, Kevin, I won't forget. I got my alarm set on my phone from 13 minutes. I really like Cole Anthony for 7,700 on FanDuel, 8K on DraftKings. I like Wendell Carter Jr. on FanDuel for 6,200. And I like Franz Wagner on DraftKings for 4,300. That all seems fine. For Brooklyn, this should be pretty easy. It's Harden and Durant. I prefer Harden on FanDuel because he's 9,900. That extra $600 just helps. I think they're pretty similar, but I've got Durant a tenth of a fantasy point better. On DraftKings, where Harden is just point guard and Durant is small forward, power forward, I slightly prefer Durant. And then Patty Mills, still 3,800 on DraftKings. That is a more than reasonable value option. As is Bruce Brown for shooting guard small forward at 4,200. Oh boy. Back-to-back really bad teams against title favorites. Oklahoma City at Milwaukee. The Thunder are 13-point dogs in this one. That's definitely a number. As we look at it here, Oklahoma City... Everybody is just in for OKC. That's great. On Milwaukee, still no Brook Lopez, no Dante DiVincenzo. So this should actually be a relatively easy rotation to project. Aaron Wiggins went from playing in back-to-back games to not playing at all. So let's go ahead and cut him out of the rotation. 24 minutes for Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Okay. Derek Favors can get to 16. Muscala appears to be back in the rotation again. We'll give him 11. Poku barely plays. Trey Mann just sees the floor for like a rotation. Ty Jerome sees the floor for a rotation. So all we're worried about is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 35 minutes. Lou Dort, I probably need to give a little bit more time. We'll go 33 on Dort. 30 minutes on Josh Giddey. Honestly feels like that should probably be 31. And then 30 on Baisley. We're going to get Giddey up to 31. Am I missing someone? Yeah, I'm just going to give those other 7 minutes to Aaron Wiggins. You can't play all these guys from Oklahoma City. It's not worth the time to try to figure out who's going to play. Like, I don't know what they're doing, but I don't get the sense that playing 11 plus guys if you're Oklahoma City is all that interesting. Like, why play Mike Muscala at all? Play someone that you think might actually be a part of your future. All right, for Milwaukee, this actually does seem like we're not going to make any changes. Bobby Portis in for 30 minutes. Maybe that should be 29 now. 34 minutes for Giannis. Honestly, I can make that 35, but I'd probably just get too much Giannis. Semi in for 16. Jordan Nwora, maybe that needs to come down. We saw Middleton play 30. I'm going to bump that up now to 32. Pat Connaughton played 30. Grayson Allen played 30. George Hill played 22. So I think we could take another 2 minutes off of Jordan Nwora. And probably another 2 off a Semi. Yeah, Muscala, like, to be fair, Roby's not good either, but yes, I agree. All right, so 28 for Pat Connaughton is fine. 30 for Grayson Allen is fine. 34 for Drew Holiday is fine. So I just have 5 minutes left over. I'll give those to Thanasis. Not that I think he's going to get them, but I don't really know where else I should put them. Rates are going to be the same. So for OKC, 8K Shea on FanDuel, 8,400 on DraftKings. It looks good. Josh Giddey for 5,800 on FanDuel looks good. Really nothing else for OKC. Dort on DraftKings for 5K is fine. as is Jeremiah Robinson Earl, but nothing crazy here for Oklahoma City. It's a terrible spot. On the Milwaukee side, 11-4 on FanDuel for Giannis. He'll be my favorite pay-up option. 12-3 on DraftKings. It's a healthy price tag, but you get power forward center, so it helps. Drew Holiday is 7,200 on DK. I like that price for him. Like it a little bit less on FanDuel, but still like him. That's really all I'm looking at from Milwaukee. If we want to add in, this game was game number 5. So if we want to get an idea of where we stand for everything that we talked about so far, here's where the boom table stands. Top plays on FanDuel thus far: AD, Giannis, LaMelo, Cade. But AD and Giannis are on their own sort of tier. Then LaMelo, Cade, Tatum, Harden, Durant, Cole, Anthony, LeVert, they're all packed together. On DraftKings, it's very clearly Cade, and then it just sort of falls off a little bit more. Alrighty. 4 games to go. Clippers and Pelicans. Another stink bomb, but at least it's in New Orleans. Don't know any status on the Clippers right now, and I assume we don't actually have it. We don't know the status of Batum. Feels like Batum is not going to play today. Just given why he was out, I feel like you need more than one day for Achilles soreness on a guy that is incredibly important to your team long term. It just doesn't feel like Nick Batum plays today. So I'm leaving Nick Batum out of the projection once again. We don't know the status of Serge Ibaka, but I don't think that he's going to be back. Maybe we see Justice Winslow. Who knows? Marcus Morris is getting dangerously close to returning as well. This is going to feel like yesterday's rotation again. We started Amir Coffey. Brandon Boston played a bunch. Isaiah Hardenstein played his normal rotations. You know, those guys played basically the exact same time today. Chris, if I'm being honest, I didn't know that Denver was on the slate. So it's certainly possible that I like Nikola Jokic more. But you got to remember, Giannis has both eligibilities where Jokic will only have center. That's a very important distinction. 31 for Bledsoe. Let's make that. How do I give more minutes to Boston? I guess I don't. I think I just have to assume that whatever the rotation was from yesterday is the rotation for today. So Clippers are done. On to the Pels. What do we know about the Pelicans other than probably nothing? Yeah, business as usual. 150 viewers, 74 likes. Let's go, guys. We're getting we've got a lack of likes on this one. All right, Brandon Ingram's back up to 36 minutes, so that's an easy fix. Trey Murphy's barely playing. Joe Val for 33. Jackson Hayes as the backup. 32 minutes for Devontae Graham. Good. Nickeil Alexander-Walker for 30. Good. Sato's playing a normal rotation. Josh Hart in for 32. Has played significantly more than that as of late. Got to give Josh Hart more minutes. Herb Jones feels fine at 21. Garrett Temple can come down. That'll get Josh Hart up to 34. Josh Hart is about to look like one of the better plays on FanDuel. Honestly, I feel like I should be giving Josh Hart even more minutes. But I think he's about to look really good. If we look at the Clippers, Paul George looks okay. 10-1 on FanDuel, 10-3 on DraftKings. No real problems getting there at all. Reggie Jackson, 6,300 and 6,400 would be my second option here. And then Zubats, but, you know, replacement level for center is tough. No, so Theodore, doubling Jokic is a very, very, very difficult proposition because he might be the best passer in the league. When you're 7 feet tall and are one of the best passers, sending a double is just free reign for the team to just get picked apart. Like you're playing You're playing the swing game at that point. Now, you do that to get the ball out of Jokic's hands faster. That does play into some perimeter shooting for Denver, but sending doubles to Jokic is like the hardest thing in the world to do because he can see over everything. You gotta really bring it from interesting angles. On the Pels side, Joe Val 8,200 on FanDuel, so that price is pretty nice. He's 9,300 on DraftKings. I would still play him on DK, but on FanDuel it's a different proposition. Josh Hart 5,200 and 5,400. Looking pretty good. Yeah, the Bulls are going to be sending like low man doubles, and it's going to be tough. Brandon Ingram looks solid too across both sides. Brandon Ingram being shooting guard small forward 8,200 if he's playing 36 minutes again, that stands out to me. All right, we're on to Chicago and Denver. Bulls. So now we can talk about this Jokic thing for real. Bulls are 3.5-point dogs in Denver. That feels wrong. No, that feels right. In Denver, they're probably like the same team, right? Am I right? Did I type that in correctly? Yeah, I'm right. Okay. All right, let's work through Chicago. Caruso probable, no Vooch. All right, so everybody as usual for Chicago. For Denver, we got Will Barton back last night and played a ton. This is just standard for Denver as well. So we're probably not really making many rotational changes. I do have to update Denver, though, for Barton. I handled that just in Fantasy Cruncher last night. Yeah, I mean, they're 3.5-point dogs. Chicago wins this game like 40% of the time. I don't know how much we really need to change this other than maybe I'm taking more time away from Kobe White. So I have 4 minutes to go around. Actually, I have like 9 minutes to go around. Where do they go? Tony Bradley for 24, I think just sort of has to be. I can give Derek Jones Jr. 2 more minutes. Javonte Green in for 20. I mean, Caruso's played monstrous minutes these past couple games, so I'm going to take him back up to 34. I got DeMar in for 36, Lonzo in for 36, and Zach LaVine in for 36 already. Maybe it's 35 for Caruso. That leaves me 3 left over. I'll just toss those into Troy Brown. That won't matter. We're not really worried about the bench guys here today. On Denver, easy fix to the rotation, but we get Will Barton in for Will Barton minutes. Although it is the back-to-back, I guess we should be relevant. Like, I mean, Will Barton played the second most minutes. There's the alarm. So, got my giant drink here. Start chugging that. Yeah, flexing. I would have really liked Anthony Edwards to keep going because he would have really changed my financial outlook yesterday. He was my most exposed player. He got off to a really hot start, and then all of a sudden it was just gone. All right, so if Will Barton is back, I'm giving him his normal 34 minutes, which means we've got Monty Morris in for 32, and I probably want to make that 31. Campazzo is going to go back to basically not playing. So we're going to say that Will Barton is then sort of the backup 1. Bones Highland is going to maintain his spot in the rotation, but play significantly less minutes. We'll take that down to 16. Austin Rivers is going to maintain his spot in the rotation. Take that down to 16. 18 maybe. Yeah, we'll do something like that. And then I'm going to make that actually Austin Rivers as the backup point guard. 34, 25. Doing math in my head is so hard in the morning. All right, PJ Dozier's minutes, I think, are just going to be the same as they usually are. Jeff Green at 31, fine. JaMychal Green at 16, fine. Aaron Gordon at 34. might be high. We're going to go 33. So I'm 2 minutes over, which makes this really easy to deal with. We're going to go 6 and 15. Done. Rate changes. We do need to update for Denver. Yeah, Pascal Siakam was not the move. Holy shit. I opened that up and it was bad. Yeah, flexing. He was in my top lineup. I didn't go to see how many people had Anthony Edwards ahead of me, but that feels like a spot where I could have made a really big push from my 24th spot if Edwards closed stronger. Like 10 fantasy points probably puts me in the top 5 or so, although there was like a pretty big train. All right, so Jokic, standard issue usage rate when everybody is not everybody's healthy. We got to take Porter off. Jokic this season with everybody but Porter on the floor, 35% usage rate. Even the rebounding rate is higher than what I have in there. Monty Morris, we can cut down a little bit. At least he is rebounding a little bit more than normal. Jeff Green, 16% usage rate. No. Aaron Gordon, 18.5 on the season. Okay. Anything else I want to touch on here? Will Barton, 21% usage rate. So we do want to bump him up a little bit. Does the assist rate go up? 6.5? A little bit. All right, so we got Denver locked and loaded now, plus Chicago. So if we look at Chicago, yeah, I had a lot of Maxey yesterday. I didn't understand his lack of ownership. I mean, that was a guy he's been playing 38, 40 minutes every single game on a 6-game slate. Why is he 4% owned? Yeah, Neto sucked. Only played 13 minutes. I thought that he could have fell into closing run and played like 20-something. I had that discussion with Adam yesterday. Anyway, for Chicago, Levine is my favorite option on FanDuel. He is 7,900. That's just too cheap for him. You can get to DeRozan or Ball or Caruso very clearly. Tony Bradley, 3,200 on DraftKings if you need a pay down center. For Denver, Jokic, 11.3 on FanDuel looks exceptional. 12K on DraftKings looks exceptional. Him and Giannis are pretty clearly separated from the pack. Genre Brown, no. We'll be doing this every day next week. Oh, there are no basketball games on Thanksgiving, so we'll be off for Thanksgiving, but I'll be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Aaron Gordon on DraftKings, 5,300. Monty Morris, 4,300. Jeff Green, 3,600. There's a lot of value here. 2 games to go. Dallas and Phoenix. Dallas Mavs, 8-point dogs, 212 total against Phoenix. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting Luka Doncic. And then on the Phoenix side, it's business as usual. So guessing Dallas looks a lot similar to their last rotation. I've got Jalen Brunson in for 35 minutes. Honestly, it should probably be 36. 34 for Porzingis. I mean, maybe I make that 33. Dorian Finney-Smith, 32. Seems fine. Hardaway at 34. Seems fine. Reggie Bullock, 28. Might be a little high. Powell is fine. Ntilikina is fine. We did see Trey Burke get in the rotation. So Dallas just holds from what we saw last time. Yes, smash the like. 95 likes. Very close to that 100 mark. And then I'll shut up about it. On the Phoenix side, this is just the same rotation every time. Chris Paul in for 33. Sure. Ayton, 32. Sure. JaVale, 16. Crowder, 28. Booker, 34. We know what we're doing here with Phoenix and with Dallas. Not much to talk about. So for Dallas, We're going right back to Jalen Brunson, 6,500 on FanDuel, 6,700 on DraftKings. He's a completely different player with no Luka Doncic. Going to be one of my favorite guys today, and everybody's favorites. Tim Hardaway looks good on both sites, but better at 5,500 on DraftKings. And then Kristaps Porzingis, 9K on FanDuel. I like him sort of as a pay up to be contrarian option because I don't think he's going to pull much ownership at that price tag. He didn't last time out. But he's 7,800 on DraftKings. He's going to be very popular there. On Phoenix, nothing. Other than DeAndre Ayton is 6,700 and just completely mispriced. Lots to like there, though. Let's add everybody in. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. So we've got Jokic is my favorite pay-up option on FanDuel. AD and Giannis are pretty similar. Jalen Brunson and Jokic are probably my favorite plays. Jalen Brunson's probably going to be the number one contender on FanDuel. On DraftKings, Jokic still my favorite pay-up option over Giannis. It'll be a little bit closer for DK because of the positional flexibility. Brunson, Ayton, and Cade are this trio in the sixes that look incredible. But here's the key piece to this. Jalen Brunson, DeAndre Ayton, Cade Cunningham. 3 of my favorite plays. They're probably going to be in the top 5 of contenders. 29, 30% boom, 26, and 26. The most likely scenario is that like all 3 of them don't hit the mark that you're looking for. Like maybe you get one guy that hits the target and gets north of 40. That's how crazy DFS is. We're closing it out. Final game, Toronto and Sacramento. Toronto, 3.5 point dogs, 218 total. How is Toronto a 3.5 point dog against Sacramento? Is that real? Did I type that incorrectly? I certainly did. Okay. All right. So for Toronto, no OG Anunoby going to be out a bit. No Precious. Well, we don't know the status of Precious Achiuwa. I'm going to leave him out for right now because he hasn't been playing and I don't really know his status. So I think I'm just going to leave the same rotation we had yesterday for Toronto, which means, massive minutes for everybody on the team. Malachi Flynn played 22 minutes. Okay. That's something. We'll do something like that. I think that works. So I'm not changing those minutes. We're jamming in Toronto. They're going to play massive minutes if they can. That's just how Toronto works. Siakam was shitty, though. And yet, I'm going to play a ton of them today. Sacramento side, other than the fact that Marvin Bagley is now a part of the rotation, which is dumb. We got Bagley in for his 11. Rashawn Holmes in for his 29. Alex Len hasn't been playing. Maybe they're not doing that anymore, so we'll give those minutes back to Tristan Thompson. 35 minutes for Fox, yes. 35 minutes for Barnes, yes. 34 minutes for Halliburton, yes. 30 for Heald, yes. Davion Mitchell at 23 could probably go down a little bit. Metu played 25. I'm going to nerf him a little bit, take him to 26. Don't know where else those minutes are supposed to go, though. So I kind of have everybody projected already, so we'll just give him the Bagley. Final teams to look at. Toronto here. It's a lot of Van Vliet. Again, that worked out well for me. I'm going to have a lot of Siakam, fingers crossed. A lot of Scotty Barnes. Gary Trent is 7K on FanDuel. That's hard to play him at that number. 6K on DraftKings looks pretty good for Trent. Kem Birch is the flat minimum again, so he'll be a very popular value play. And then on Sacramento, Right back to De'Aaron Fox, 7,800 on FanDuel, 8,400 on DraftKings. Halliburton, 6,200 on DraftKings, the second best option here. God, my nose is so itchy. Air is just so dry right now. All right, crunch time. Let's check out these optimals. Optimal lineups on FanDuel. No real feel for this right now. Looks like we're going to hit our time mark, too. And we're over 100 likes because you guys are the best. All right, optimals. That took a while. 330.6. It's the optimal lineup by 0.3 of a point. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Brunson, Karis LeVert, Patty Mills, Scotty Barnes, Josh Hart, Wendell Carter Jr., Isaiah Stewart, Nikola Jokic. I like this. I think that I personally am a little bit too high on Karis LeVert right now, but it's just massive usage and a $6,600 price tag. Here's why I like the idea of going to LeVert. Pay close attention to his ownership. So Karis LeVert started this season off 7,900, 7,800, 7, back up to 73, 68, 68. He's 6,600 today. Shooting guard, small forward eligibility. And we're talking about a guy that has like a 29-ish% usage rate. Dude's gunning. He is going to fall into one soon at relatively low ownership. And if the price keeps coming down, that's going to be the spot. Taking on Charlotte, that's the type of game where I think that we could be in for an interesting Karis LeVert game. Charlotte's the second fastest team in the league. Indy's 20th, so massive pace up spot. Pay attention to Karis LeVert today. I'm going on record for that one. Let's look at the power rankings now. Hugo, good morning. Happy Friday. Oh, man. Yeah, that game is the spot, Cantor. God, my shoulders hurt so bad. Yeah, Jalen Brunson, top of the power rankings by a mile. Josh Hart, Cade Cunningham, Isaiah Stewart, Talen Horton-Tucker, which I think is pretty interesting. I didn't expect that. Karis LeVert, Siakam, De'Aaron Fox, Jokic, VanVleet, Giannis, Giddey, Wendell Carter Jr., Scotty Barnes, AD. But I'm very, very interested in Karis LeVert today. All right, so that's FanDuel. On to DraftKings. And then we will be closing it out for the day. Actually, this one feels weird for my shoulders. I feel like I just slept wrong. But yes, I also agree that I should be foam rolling my shoulders. Foam rolling everything, man. Changes the game. All right, DK optimal. We've got Cade Cunningham, Patty Mills, Franz Wagner, Josh Hart, Tony Bradley, Jalen Brunson, Brandon Ingram, Nikola Jokic. I honestly don't hate it. Like, I don't love the idea of Tony Bradley versus Jokic, but they don't really have much of a choice from a minutes perspective. Like, it's going to be hard for Tony Bradley to not be on the floor for more than 20 minutes. So there's that. They're on a 5-game road trip, which is kind of brutal. 5 games in 7 days. Yikes. Not great. I don't mind that lineup at all. 290.1. It's 1.1 fantasy points ahead of the second one, and that one brings Bembry into play, so I don't hate that optimal, but I think it's going to look a lot different when we start running this. Power rankings on DraftKings, and then we're going to get out of here. Watch is charged. Wow. VanVleet sliding to the top. Looks like it's going to be Cade, though. Either Cade or Brunson. Maybe. And down the stretch they come. Fred VanVleet and Cade Cunningham. I could have been a great announcer for 1947 horse races. Cade Cunningham sneaks into the top spot in the power rankings. Fred VanVleet, Jalen Brunson, Patty Mills, Josh Hart, DeAndre Ayton, Franz Wagner, Nikola Jokic, Miles Bridges, rounding out the top of this list. Tough slate so far, but a fun one. We got a long day ahead of us, everybody. A really, really, really long day. So, oh man, I closed that FanDuel one, didn't I? That was dumb. Run that again. We done, first and foremost. No, we're not spinning the wheel today, but we are going to do that moving forward. Process show is in the books. We finished off this work week. I appreciate having everybody here for it. So thank you for that. If you haven't hit the like button yet, do so. I got to duck out of here. Be back with the strategy show at 9:45, I believe, with Adam. I think it's 9:45. Let me make sure it's not 10 and then we go to 11:15 because I don't totally know for sure. Sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's the other. Today is... All right, so today is 9:45. So 9:45 strategy show with Adam Scher. We will be breaking it all down. And then I'm back tonight for Live Before Lock, covering for Eric while he's out getting married, or honeymooning, I guess, at this point. So it's myself and EMAC going 90 minutes. We got a 30-minute bonus after the show for Yahoo specifics. So make sure you're coming to hang out for that. We got a lot going on. That's it, everybody. Thank you for joining me. We're back again. You guys know the drill. Monday morning, the process. Rise and grind, everybody. Have a good weekend. I'll talk to you later.